Let's make some cool embellishments similar to these to add to our junk journals. Hi, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Thank you so much for joining me. These embellishments have been inspired by Eva from Bohemian Crafting. She posted a video a few weeks ago showing how to use round embellishments in junk journals, and I was inspired. And so I immediately had to try some out using some of the craft supplies sent to me by Sweet Debbie from the US. I have a video of the unboxing of the unbelievable items she sent me from the US, linked in the description box in case you missed it. But not to worry if you don't have the same supplies. I will also go over alternative solutions that will hopefully be just as fun. So maybe you've seen these on Instagram a couple of weeks ago. I posted a picture of these right after I made them. So maybe I'll show you them in more detail and tell you what I used to make them. So on all of these pieces, I used a die cut. This is the one that Debbie had sent me in her amazing Happy Mail. So this is the number in case you might want to look for this. Of course, it's a beautiful Tim Holtz one. And you see all these parts here that you see are from this die cut set. And I used a paper, or actually it was a piece of a calendar page that I had painted with acrylic paints. So I just glued those on. So though something like this is super fun to use. But again, if you don't have anything like this, I will show you some other options. Maybe we'll go through the shapes first. So we have these round ones. For these, I just used my 1.5 inch circle punch. And then we have this fun shape. I really love this hexagon. And this is made with this punch. This punch I got secondhand, so I'm not sure where you can get it, but I'm sure you could find something like this online. I think the shape is really fun. And you can see here the numbers. Now, I think these numbers are super cool. So you see them here and here, and also in this one. I particularly love this one because of the high contrast with the dark background. And then there's also this heart. So all of these were made using this very cool stencil set also from Debbie's Happy Mail. So this is number 662687, and it has this alphabet set here with some numbers and some symbols, and it also has the die for this fun little paper bag. What else did I use? I used some scraps in the background. For example, here and here and here you can see this turquoise green pieces. Those are from my paper that I had laying on my desk when I was making the fodder scraps. I have a video with that. I will link that below. And then what else do we have? Yeah, here I have a cute little wooden bird. I got these, I think, from Action a while ago, and I never really used them. So I think these are really cute on these embellishments. And then you also see these slots here. So I have this slot punch, which looks like this. I have these linked below in case you want one. I think they are super fun. Then we have this beautiful charm, which also was from Debbie's Happy Mail. And on some of these, we have these numbers. You see them here, here, and here. These are from my own set of number labels. I will link those for you below as well. So let's make some similar ones using supplies that you might have more readily available than having to buy new stuff again, because I know you can't get these things everywhere anyway. So let's use something you might already have on hand, and hopefully they will just be as beautiful. I'm just trying to put these so you can see these. The background I used for all of these were from my original of a masterboard that I also have in my shop, but this is actually the original, but you can find a print of what this was. I also made this tag background using another part of this masterboard. I don't know yet what I'm gonna put on that, but it's a huge tag. Yeah, so you can use something like a masterboard, or you can use like scrapbook paper. I would use something that is not super flimsy. I mean, we are going to double up the pieces in most cases. Like when we do something like this, they're doubled up. But if you don't double them up, then use something that is a bit more sturdy maybe. If you don't have a circle punch, maybe you have an oval punch, or a circle punch with a fun edge like this, or yeah, or maybe something like this, or any kind of shape. Maybe you have die cuts that would work just as well. So I have these circle dies, so maybe you have something like this, or I have these fun label shapes, they would work as well. Or something like this. These might be fun. So check what you have, and if you have no dies, no punches, but you still want to do this, then what you can use is, for example, any round objects that you can just trace on a piece of paper and cut out, or any other fun shapes you might find that you would think work really well as embellishments. Maybe you have some other cool shaped lids. Just see what you have in your household items. I'm sure there's a lot you can use. And then for these, if you don't have the dies to cut out these numbers, maybe you have some other punches. For example, I have punches like these, which I want to try. I also have this heart one, and I have this star. And again, maybe you have some dies that are small that you can use for this. Another thing I'm just thinking of that you could use if you don't have these, well, it's definitely a bit more work. If you, for example, have some stamps with some nice images that you could stamp somewhere and then cut out that image, you know, just cutting out the inside with maybe a Stanley knife. That would be another option if you don't have any punches or dies. So let's try some of these fun options. What do we start with? Why don't we start with an oval one? Haven't tried that yet, so I want to try this one. This is 1 3/4 inch. So let me find something. Actually, I'll just use this. I have this piece of paper here because I love the contrast that this gave me for here and for this heart. This is just from a, actually I have it here. This is from this huge booklet I have here about European masters, and it has these pages in between on which there was some artwork. So this is really nice and sturdy, and this is perfect. So maybe you can find something. So let's cut out an oval from this. And then we need something to go on top. I'm going to continue to use this here because I want to use this up. Let's see if there's enough here. Yeah, so I can use this piece like this. Okay, and now we want something here. What should we take? Should we just do the heart? I think the heart should work very nicely. Okay, we need to do something here. It might have actually been easier to first punch out the heart and then to punch out the oval around it. But we can also help ourselves by just using a piece of washi or a strip of, like a scrap of some paper, and just attach that. And so with that we have like a little handle to hold on to when we punch out the heart. And of course we can use the heart, whoops, on another one. Oh, that's totally not in the center. But I think that's okay actually. This could be nice as well. So I'm gonna keep this. So you see here I cut out the heart. This was a die from that alphabet die set. And I used the cutout heart on this embellishment. So I used both parts. So that always feels good to use up everything. Okay, so next I'm going to vintage this up a little bit with my vintage photo and one of these flat brushes. just use the back side of this. Now I'll take my 3-in-1 glue to glue this on top of the other one. And then I'll go around the whole thing with some more vintage photo. And the reason why I don't do that first at the same time that I do this is because, first of all, this way I can ink up both of the pieces, and second of all, it's more sturdy once they're glued together, so it's just easier to ink up this way. Okay, so we have this so far. So I just remembered Debbie also sent these fun clippings stickers from Tim Holtz. 295 stickers with numbers and little sayings. Really fun to use. I love that they are so small. They're perfect for projects like this. And we could use, for example, we need something small. Oh, no, look, what about this one? Hold on. I think that's really cute with the heart for like encouragement. I love that. So of course we're going to ink around that. Oh, I love that. Hold on. Maybe we put something else because it still looks kind of plain. Let me take this dish I have here, inspired by Susanne from Bornhood Art. I have these little wooden birds here. So these are really cute for embellishments like this. Let's see, what about this one? Yeah, that's cute. Okay, I'm gonna ink this up as well. And I'll just glue them on with my art glitter glue. I think I need my tweezers. It'll make my life a lot easier. And then this can be put on something for the background. I mean, this can be put on a background. And there's several options. So one would be a snippet roll. So I have these ready to go. All I did was I took a piece of masking tape and just added scraps that I had, tearing them all into rectangular pieces as I do. And then I went over it with a zigzag stitch with my sewing machine. So this has no glue. Please be careful though when you sew over masking tape that it doesn't ruin your needle. That's something that I obviously have not thought about, but for some reason it was fine. I think the older your masking tape is, the more you might run into this issue. So please be careful. Maybe use just a strip of paper, glue the pieces down and let those dry completely before you use it on the sewing machine. And by the way, if you need tips for using the sewing machine for paper crafting, there was an awesome video by Maud. I will link that one below for you as well, a few weeks ago, where she shows you all her tips on sewing paper and for using paper in your junk journals. Really, really good tutorial. Okay, so let's see what that would look like if we would put this on a little strip here. So that would look really cute, I think. I would, of course, ink up the part of the snippet roll. So that's one option. This is a fairly narrow strip. I also have the same thing in a wider version. Same concept, and I just stuck on more papers. So you see here, it's a wide strip of masking tape, and I just sewed 2 rows. That's the only difference. And I could probably, just cut off or tear off a tiny piece like this and put it on there, and that would be super cute. Next, I have my box of scraps here, in which I also have things like paper ruffles from scraps. So again, I think this would be really cute on one of these. Alternatively, I also have a few of these made with fabric. Adorable and ready to go into your journal. What else? I have a scrap here which is just sewn together. This was a part of a project gone wrong, but I didn't throw this away. I still think it's usable, and I could just use a smaller part of this. Also very cute. Maybe add another scrap of something underneath to give it a little more color. What else do we have that we could use? Well, of course, corrugated cardboard is always fun. You would tear this away. Maybe paint this. Another option. This is another fun scrap. If I were to tear this off, you have another really cool background. So you really don't have to have these dies. I mean, they do look really cool, I'm not gonna lie. But you can do so much with your paper scraps without having any fancy dies. So I need to make a decision on what to do, and maybe I will just put this on a strip of this because I really like this. And maybe you have a flower or something that you could cut out of either a digital or a vintage book that you might have with some flower images, and add that actually in between these two layers. Maybe I should see if I have something before I stick this down. For example, I have this image here. I could just use part of that. Either tear or fussy cut around that. I might actually fussy cut this. Kiss cut it actually, because I'm leaving a white border. Still love that term, kiss cutting. Who said that crafting can't be romantic? Let's also add some vintage photo to this so that's not so stark white. And go around the edges to define those a little bit more. Okay, what would this look like? Totally gonna do this. I'm gonna tear this a little bit smaller than I had originally planned. And then I'm gonna cut through these threads. Oh, that's already glued down. That glue was still holding. Let's just cut these a little smaller. So there's our first one. What do you think? Very cool to have on hand when we need a quick embellishment. Let's try another shape. Let's try this one. This one looks like a fun one. Again, I'm going to be using this dark background. I just love this. Okay, now we need the same shape. I can still use this here. Okay, let's choose something to put in the middle. Oh, these here are kind of small now for this. We could add the star. Yeah, we can add the star. Maybe we won't center it again, because if we don't center it, it makes it easier to put something else on it as an embellishment. Again, we can use this star on something else. That looks stunning already. So again, we'll ink this up. Glue it on. That looks cool on its own already, I think. Let's ink up the edges. And obviously, if the vintage style is not your style, then first of all, what are you doing on my channel? No, but then obviously you just don't ink anything up and you use bright, colorful materials, whatever you want to use. Okay, what can we use to embellish this a little bit further? Maybe we could add a little bird. These are also from one of my printables, and I just happen to have them here. Or because they might be a little bit big. I mean, these would work if I cut them out. This one is, I mean, you could make it work, right? Definitely. But I think I saw another one which might be better. This is also big. We have this goose. So these three here are from vintage books, so they are originals. So that could also be cool. Or we have this guy. Oh, I like him. He would be cool. Or I also have this one, which I also like. Yeah, let's just go with him. Let's ink up his edges as well to make him fit with the rest, not stand out like a sore thumb. And from these words, we could add happiness, because he somehow looks very happy. He might just be hungry, but to me, he looks happy. Then we need a background for him as well. We don't need it, but it's fun to have a background. I have this piece of corrugated cardboard here, which I have just painted with acrylic paint. First with white gesso, then with jade, which looks like blue, and then some gold paint over that. So it looks really nice and grungy, and I think this would be a very cool background. So I want to encourage you again to have things like this and like the scraps and the snippets and everything on hand. Because when you then make embellishments, you are ready to go and it really doesn't take long at all. Yeah, I'm just gonna glue him down as is. You could also make any of these into paper clips, of course. I will clamp this one down to make sure that glue really holds well. Let that dry. For the next one, I want to use this little tulip here. So I want a shape which is not too big. So I think I'll try one of these dies here. Let's see where that would be, where that would work well. So this round one would be really cool. Maybe this one, I like this shape. If I can, I will link the set of these dies for you as well. And I want to use this book page. So you see, I just used again my jade and then splattered both black and white on it. So this is perfect, again, for a project like this. And I think I'm just gonna use this again since I have it here and it's so nice and sturdy. So I'll just go to my die cut machine and cut 2 of these. Or actually, why don't I do it smart this time and do this first so that I know where to do the die cut. Then I think that's easier. I need to cut some of this. Okay, the problem is that this really doesn't go in far, so it doesn't leave me a lot of room to then cut this out on top. Well, that's a bummer. How do you do that then? Aw, because you see, if I do this, this is so close to the edge. Yeah, because I want this in the center, right? It doesn't work. Oh, that's a bummer. But what we can do is we can use this little thing, at least. Not what I wanted. Okay, so that's not a good idea. This one probably has the same issue. Let's see. I think this is a little better. Maybe this one will work. Yep, I think this one will be okay. Yep, I can do that. So I'll be right back. Here we go. Very cute. So same procedure as before. This one might be fun on this little fabric cluster. Yeah, I think that's really cute. And we could even add an eyelet up here with some twine in it. I'm using the smaller hole of my crocodile for this. And I have some small eyelets. When you look in the description of the crocodile on Amazon or probably any other online provider, it tells you which eyelets work, and I believe it's 1/8 and 3/16. And I guess these are the 3/16 ones. They are much smaller. And then you can use those. Just search for those online. You can find those as well, and they're really fun as well. I love how small they are. Let's add a little piece of twine. Adding it just like I would add twine on a tag. This is of course not much too long. Let's trim that. And now we just glue this on. I'm gonna use my 3-in-1 glue since we're dealing with fabric. And I'm not gonna add any sentiment on this. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Maybe it makes more sense to not add any sentiments, because that way you can of course customize the sentiments when they go in a specific journal to then work with that journal. Let's take this off. This is now stuck well. So let's use this here until this has really adhered well. Next, we can use this as a base. This is some packaging. Let's try this fun shape here. I think this is the same that I used here, so that also looks really cool. As long as you have some kind of a contrast between the top and the bottom layer, I think it looks really, really cool. And what do we use for the top? I could use a part of this for the top layer, or actually, should I do it the other way around? Well, let's do both. Well, I don't have enough of this. Maybe I'll find something similar, and then we'll try both variations. And I just need to decide what I'm gonna put in the middle. I could, of course, just use this to stick on top. That would be an option. Let me go to my die cut machine and cut these out, and then we can decide what else to do. This paper here is, by the way, another one that we made in this collage fodder video, which is linked below. So I did find another piece of packaging. Of course, I have plenty of packaging. So I have these two, and I have the same size with this, but now I also realized I have a smaller version of this die. So maybe that would be fun to use. So maybe to do something like this, layer them on top of each other, and then we could put something on top of that, like maybe the star. Ink that up, of course. That could be cute with a nice background. Let's try that. So I'll just ink up all the edges really quickly. So this is everything inked up. I haven't glued it down yet. I just had another idea what I could add. I have these fun little feathers that I found locally. You can find feathers like this, or not exactly like this, but similar feathers on Etsy in various stores. But please, when you buy them, make sure they're ethically sourced or they are not real feathers. And I have this cute yellow one, which I think would be super cute in the middle here. Ha! So sweet. Okay, I'm just gonna glue all this down. I love the fuzziness of feathers. And I'm wondering if we should add a number or something on this one. I have this beautiful Egyptian box where I keep my labels. These are the ones from my own shop. I think most of these will be too big as a full label, but I could cut some down. Maybe that one or this one here. I could just cut off a part of that. Just a 908 maybe will work. So fun. So that's number 4. I think this is good to go. Look how different they all are. I mean, they're all vintage style, but they're all really different, I think. Maybe that's just me. Obviously, we can make nice embellishments without cutting anything out. We can just glue these on top of each other to make them a little bit more sturdy, because these are both very flimsy. And then just make a mini collage on top of that. Taking my mini box of mini scraps. Maybe a tea bag label, like this one. So again, the way I make these is just when I make black tea. Now in the summer, I make iced tea with just putting a black tea bag into some boiling water, let that cool down, add some lemon and ice cubes, and that is the best iced tea for me. And when I take the tea bag out, I put it into a little bowl and set the tea bag on top of the tea bag and let that soak for a few hours, and then you get all these beautiful different tea bags, tea bag labels. Each one will obviously be different, and they are just so much fun to use in collages, and they're basically free because you're using the tea anyway. Maybe you use your tea for tea dyeing, then you have the tea bags as well. Okay, I don't like this actually. Interesting. I have some random wallpaper offcuts, weird shapes. Maybe we should first find a focal point. Nope. I have this image here. This is one from the Digital Collage Club, and I used a stamp die cut on it, and you see it kind of went wrong because it has this white edge, so I can't really use it as it is either. Yes, I could of course dye the edges and it would be fine, but I could also maybe use this bird and put him on top here, but it doesn't have a tail. I'm just realizing that. The other one worked. Let me try. I'll cut out both and see if one of these might work. Okay, I zoomed you in a little bit, so I cut both of these out. I'm not sure I like either of them. He kind of looks weird because his tail is unfortunately missing. And this one, I'm not sure about the colors. I mean, it's a fun, happy embellishment, I guess. I'm gonna see if I have anything else, otherwise I can use him. I think I found something more suitable. So I have all these fussy cut fun images from this book that I've talked about in previous videos. I have this book for you linked below as well. It has over 1,500 images to cut out and play with in your collages. Super fun book. So as you can see, I've cut out a lot. This is many hours of fussy cutting. And I chose these 4, which have, I think, a good size and colors that fit very well with this embellishment. So let me zoom you back in. Let's try out the different possibilities. So there's that guy. Then we have this one. I really like him. There's this little green guy. Also cute. And then we have this one here. This one also has a really nice contrast. It's a really hard choice. I think this one I'm not gonna use. Yeah, I'm not gonna use him. So either him. I really love the contrast on this one. But I also really love the colors here. I love that he has blue and green. This one only has the yellow from the background. Help! You know what? I'm gonna go with this one because I also like that he only has like the tail peeking out and the beak. And this one has a lot more peeking out, which isn't an issue, but I just like the proportions of this one better. Maybe we can add another feather because I think feathers, of course, go well with birds. Maybe we'll go for a blue, although the blue is very different to the turquoise we have here, so maybe that's not the best choice. Maybe we should just stick to another yellow one, like this. And actually with this one, I don't think I'm even gonna ink him up because I kind of like the white edge because he pops out a lot better than if I would darken that edge. I'll just put some on the spine here. And this needs to dry. Could put him on another background, but I'm not sure that that is necessary at all. We can see what it looks like. Maybe we'll check the narrow snippet roll. Maybe like this. So that's number 5. So one of the other items that was in Debbie's amazing Happy Mail were these fun little brown paper bags. So I thought we could probably use an embellishment on one of these, maybe one of the bigger ones. Either this one. Of course, this is quite bulky, so if you want to put this in a journal, you have to be aware of that. This one would be smaller, maybe this one. I mean, not smaller. I mean, it is a little bulky as well because we have this wooden element, but it's not as bad as the corrugated cardboard. And we could even add a piece of my most favorite washi, which Debbie had also sent in her Happy Mail. This is like the best washi ever. If I can, I will link this for you as well because it's just so amazing. It works on everything with everything. I'm not throwing these away. I'm gonna use these in other projects. I'm gonna put these here with my small scraps. Not wasting any tiny scrap of this wonderful washi. And this could be, yeah, look at that. It just works with everything. It makes everything better. I really rarely have used wide washi up. I have a whole drawer of washies, and especially the wide ones, for some reason, I don't know, I don't think about, or I don't know, there's something about that. And this one, I had this previously, was the only one I ever managed to use up really to the last little scrap. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. So let's put this in one of my journals. I have my traveler's notebook here. I don't really use the cover at the moment because it's easier to work like this. I have not bound it yet. I will do that at the end. It's kind of busy. That would work. That would be nice. Not liking that background. Oh, I like this one. Let's just put it here. Now we could glue it down either as a whole, or we could glue it down on these three sides, leaving this as a pocket as well. But since this is so bulky, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna glue the whole thing down. And then we need to find something to put inside. And I'm hoping that I have a tag ready to go that works with this size. So I'm putting this more towards the bottom and not in the center, thinking that I will have a tag which is gonna peek out from the top. This is kind of hard to show because it doesn't really fit in frame, but I have this acrylic box here with some ready-made tags. Some I made in challenges, some I just kind of made on my own. And I'm hoping that one of these will work for this pocket. But yeah, so I have these here as well. So these were my hidden paper clips. Maybe I'll link that video for you as well. So you could just take one of these embellishments and stick it on like the book pages like we did in that video. So if you check out that video, these are super easy to make, and then you have a collage ready to go to just plop on top, and you have your hidden paper clip. So many things you can do with these. For this one, I made a masterboard and then I cut out some tags. I think these were the ones I made without looking. So I cut it from the back, not knowing where I was cutting, which was super exciting. I can link that video for you as well. Oh, this one is so cute, but it's too short for a little bag. This one might be a good fit, so we'll keep that one out. This one might work. So I think, oh wait, I have some more here. This might work. This might, no, this is too small. These I think are too small. This might work. Let's see which ones out of these four will fit best. So let's try the bird one first. The width is perfect. So that's an option. It's not picking out too much. It would work. Then we have this one. This is cute. I like the 11 sticking out here. That's a good option. I like that one better than the first one. Let's try this one. This is the biggest. I love that. Yeah, love that a lot. And then we have this one. That's also a little bit small. Okay, so one of these two. I think both of these are really nice for this spot. The 11, of course, has a nicer contrast because it kind of connects with the color of the paper bag and this here. Whereas this one here blends in very much with all these papers around here. I actually think I like this one better. Yeah, let's do that. And why don't we use this one on a belly band and stick something in the belly band on a page. This one might be nice. Yep, I think I'll go for this one. So I'm going to take my narrow belly band, my narrow snippet roll. And then we will tear this. Let's glue this on the top and the bottom. And let's glue this right in the middle. And let's find something to stick under this. I just clamped the ends down because they're not sticking as well to this papyrus paper as on regular paper. I want to make sure that doesn't come apart while I'm sticking something in. So I think I'll use this one. I think the bird image here is cute with the feather here. Yep, I like it. And I like the pink here. And that goes really well with this paper here. So good. Added 2 pages. Very simple. So it's your turn to go play, make some fun embellishments, use them. This is such a great way to use round images because maybe you know I always have a problem using round embellishments, round images and collages and everything, but this is a really good way to use them. By just sticking them onto something else, then they kind of lose this round shape, which is beautiful. I love the round shape, but I just have an issue finding a good way to use them in collages. So try it out. I think the more you play, the more ideas you will get while playing. Don't just watch this, try it yourself. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!